Hello, Nasdaq followers, and welcome to another edition of Nasdaq's. I'm a producer and host here at Nasdaq. Joining me today is CEO and founder of BioSig, Kenneth Londoner. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's kick it off by talking a little bit about the market that you're in, which is more than a $5 billion market. It's the electrophysiology market. Could you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. Electrophysiology is essentially a practice of medicine for people who suffer from irregular heartbeats. Their heart beats 200 beats per minute or faster. And we're in the technology side of that market, serving hospitals in the US and then around the world.
And now we were talking a little bit off screen, and you were saying that this is a market that keeps growing and growing. Why is there a growing need, and do we have a good understanding of it?
So the industry was really founded almost 30 years ago. A group of scientists in Bordeaux, France, and many others actually, discovered a way to treat irregular heartbeats minimally invasively with a surgical procedure called cardiac ablation. So since 1989, there's been an industry formed. And the reason the industry is growing so much is basically the baby boomers are aging in the United States and around the world. And so you have a growing number of people that have the disease called atrial fibrillation. So they're looking for ways to get it treated. And we serve that market.
And now there's not a lot, it doesn't seem that there's a lot of in-human testing so far, which is why it's so critical, this agreement that you recently had with the Mayo Clinic that we're about to talk about. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, we have been building this technology for some time. The company's over 10 years of age, and we've gone through a series of developments. We took our prototype to the Mayo Clinic in late 2014, and they put it through almost 4 years of testing to get it prepared for FDA submission, which we received last summer. We got FDA clearance to sell our product in the United States. And we've continued to grow our relationship at the Mayo Clinic. Essentially, our engineering team and their leading physicians are collaborating on finding ways that we can take our core technology and expand it beyond cardiology. So we have a 10-year collaboration with them that we signed in 2017 that allows us to go into other areas of medicine with our technology.
Well, that's a pretty big accomplishment. So
for a small company, it's wonderful. We think the world of the Mayo Clinic. They're one of the leading research centers in the world, and they're creating a lot of tomorrow's innovations and cures in Minnesota.
Absolutely. So the next 5 to 10 years, what does it look like for you, and what kind of developments and testing will you be working on?
So we actually just had a great event for our company. We did our first in-human cases where we used our computer technology in the facilities at the Texas Cardiac Arrhythmia Institute in Austin, Texas. It's one of the leading centers in the United States. They treat a lot of cases down there. We worked with a very well-known global physician by the name of Dr. Andrea Natali, and we did 7 cases successfully. So that's the type of progress that you have to show before you're ready to commercially launch the product. So over the next 3 to 5 years, we will be rolling out our technology in the United States to all the leading centers that do these procedures, and then we'll be going to Europe and then to Asia. And you know, our long-term ambition is to be a market leader in this segment by offering our technology to the people who need it most.
And for the segment, what are some trends that people can watch out for if they're new to the market now?
Well, I mean, the market, our market space grows about 13% a year, driven by the growth in the population. There are new centers that are opening up all the time, both in the United States and around the world, to be able to handle this growing caseload. And in terms of innovation, one of the things investors can watch is our human data that we generate off of our early cases. We'll be organizing that data and publishing it in leading medical journals and presenting it at leading medical conferences to build up the awareness for the technology, both in the doctor and hospital community, as well as the patient community. And then we've put together a fairly small but very high-end commercial team. So we'll be rolling out the product this year in the second half of the year, and then we'll be commercial and growing our revenues. That's something that our investors are looking forward to, and ultimately getting to profitability. So the next 3 years are looking pretty bright for us.
That's fantastic. So we look forward to following you. These are some pretty big milestones that you are about to cross, and We couldn't be more excited to have you here listed on the Nasdaq so we can keep tabs.
We love being part of the Nasdaq. It took us many years to get here, but since we've listed, I think we've had like a 40–50% capital appreciation. So we're proud to be part of the Nasdaq family.
Amazing. Kenneth, thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit about BioSig, your progress. We look forward to keeping up.
Thank you so much.
All right, Nasdaq followers, that's it for this episode of Nasdaq Spotlight. Stay tuned for more coverage throughout the day, and don't forget BioSig's ticker, that's BSGM. We'll be back with more coverage.